Yo, it's your boy Slack in the Soup. Today we're looking at UFC 312. This episode is sponsored by Van Piel Apparel. Anything ghouls, goblins, and gothic, get your clothes now. Link in my bio. Yo, this is a very stat card. UFC 312, Sydney, Australia. Sean Strickland versus Duplessis. This is a fucking major fight. A lot of people don't like this card. I did a lot of research on this card. It's got a lot of fun. It doesn't have a lot of big names on it, but this is a lot of potential for a lot of good fights.
I feel like this is a competition that any dog can just take the bone and climb up these ranks. They said Saudi Arabia was supposed to be the pay-per-view, but I really feel like this is the pay-per-view that everyone should be watching. This is the long-awaited battle between Sean Strickland and Dricus Du Plessis. The first competition that they had was to decision, and it was super competitive. So I was wanting to see a rematch for a long time now.
And these guys don't like each other, but they definitely respect each other. I think Dricus recently told everyone that Sean is the number one middleweight of the world right now in his eyes, which I kind of agree with. I think Sean's really a dog. I think he's an underdog in this fight, man. I think Sean might get it done this fight. I thought he got it done last fight, but I'm biased. I'm not a fucking judge. But Sean Strickland looked damn good in his last fight. So did Duplessis. He looked really good. Showed some heart. Dog. He's really a great champion. I can't wait to see what Sean brings to the table, man. I think he did good in his last fight. He always looks good during training camps, so we're gonna see how it looks in this next fight.
I just felt like that first one was a little bit too easily picked out. I think the damage to Sean Strickland with the headbutt is what really decided it. If it wasn't for him bleeding that much towards the end, I would have felt that he would have won it. But based off of damage and basically what landed a little bit more with Dricus is just what really helped him win that match.
Honestly, it's up in the air at this point. I'm not sure if Sean can actually win this fight. It definitely could be a finish for either one of them. Sean's coming off a loss to DDP. He didn't want to fight anyone besides DDP. He wanted the title fight. He waited. Did not want to wait. DDP is coming off a win of Israel Adesanya. Israel just got slept against Imavov recently last weekend. So, that this is interesting. So this card is really interesting. We're going to start from top to bottom, give our predictions. I'm going to give off some strengths, some weaknesses, and some paths to victories. Wang, Cong versus Bruno, Brazil. Now, these fighters are really good. I know Gio's a really big fan of Wang Cong, even though she's coming off a loss. I don't really think it does much for her career. It was more so on the grappling side, right?
Yes. I love her dynamic striking. She just knows how to land these hits, and there's really no loophole in her game. And you get to see every time she gets in the octagon, she just progressively gets better.
Wang Cong, let's go over some strengths, man, because I think she has a lot of good strengths here, So a lot of fast hands, a lot of good, strong counter punching. In her last fight, she landed a lot of good strikes as well. I think the weakness is the grappling, man. It's keep it on. You got to keep the fight standing. This is not going to be your night if you get on the ground, because she struggled in these low-level competitions, man. It's only going to get harder for her, so she needs to get down, get better grappling, or just pull it Israel Adesanya and just get better at just takedown defense. It's very important for her to keep this on the feet. Her opponent, Brazil, man, it's everything's good on her side too. Not as much grappling, which is crazy, man. So, good submissions on her side. She's a very slow to start fighter as well. Brazil is really good, but it's very slow to start. She's very vulnerable against fast strikers, and Wang Cong is a very fast striker, man.
I was thinking about it myself, like if she can have that slow start like she normally has and just pace out Wang for the first round or two, maybe she'll just fatigue her and just get the third round submission, because you get to see by life examples in the octagon. My co-host here is correct. She's not really that good on the ground. Maybe she dedicated the camp to the takedown defense and ground game just to see what she implements and got better off of. But definitely, if she just comes out very dynamic, played the pace real slow, she can just get her very fatigued by the second round, third round, and just go for a finish there.
So what's a good method to victory for Bruno Brazil? In our notes, we say that got to get the clinch early, get the takedowns, open up a bit. So what do you think?
I think that's definitely her game plan. She should have seen the film and seen that striking is very dynamic. The way that she just shut that down with the clinch, takedown, and the smother. Make sure she doesn't have that dynamic range, not power to land. Just make sure you just shut out all her game plan. She just never been on the ground all the time. Most of her fight career is on the hands. Yeah, she has a submission in her record, but these are just from early years. These are from her past fights. And this is just stuff of that if you want to become a champion and become better at what you do, you got to be all around good.
Nobody wants to stand with Wang Cong,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So everyone knows that don't stand with Wang Cong. She can put your lights out immediately.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, I'm going to pick Wang Cong. Fast counter-striking. This fight is honestly built for her to win. According to my notes here, this is perfect formulaic fight for Wang Cong.
I just like to add into the fact that with the Joker's theme, we got Carlos Prates also doing the Joker theme. You see how prosperous he's been in with his career. So anyone with the Joker theme just seems to just do better with their skill gap. So if she wants to go with that theme, I'm all for it.
Our next fight is a welterweight bout between two guys who are up and coming now. Welterweights Jonathan McAuliffe versus Kevin Jousset. Now, I do like Kevin Jousset, man.
Yes.
I think he's really well. So let's go for some strengths and weaknesses, man. So with Jonathan McAuliffe, man, he's a well-rounded guy, solid striking, great defensive grappling. This is very important. Takedown defense is very important for this fighter as well. And he's kind of bare bones, man. You know, he's Jonathan McAuliffe. He just gets done. He gets in there, he gets done. He's very well-rounded for his skill set. Like I said, good takedown defense. And, you know, his path to victory is really easy, man. You got to keep the fight standing because Jousset, on the other hand, has great grappling. So, like Kevin just said, this is a makeshift fight for him. This is a classic striker versus grappling situation going on here. Like I said, McAuliffe has very good takedown defense, but, my God, Jousset, man, he is a great grappler with good takedown ability, and you got those submissions, man. So, listen. How do you think this fight's going to play out?
I think just what they just counter each other perfectly. And what happens when you counter meets a type of wrestler and person that likes to take people on the ground, they just end up striking with each other because they know they counter each other out. And it's going to be who's the bigger man and what's going to land and what opportunities are going to be given at the chance of the takedown, a grapple, an exchange, or a clinch.
We're going to see early in the fight that Jousset and McAuliffe's, their striking is going to be way different, right? So, like I said, Jousset needs to take this to the ground immediately and work on getting that submission. And McAuliffe, hey, you guys keep standing, man. This is not your grappling time, man. This is not time to be fucking around on the ground. This is the time for you to stay on your fucking toes and get this finished. This is not, you got to tire him out. You got to have a good takedown defense just to make this fight. It was tailor-made really for Jousset, man. So, like, prove them wrong, McAuliffe. Like, prove them wrong that your takedown defense got better. And then Jousset cannot get taken on the ground. Jousset, you have to get this on the ground. You got to get top position. You got to work on that submission early before you get this win.
It's all about just making sure that you got your defense on point and just to have fun. You just can't just have everyone counting you out. Just do it. Remember what you're doing it for. Remember the message you're trying to send.
So with that being said, guys, I think I'm gonna take my guy Jousset, man. I think that grappling is gonna be a problem. And you know, these lower level fights, man, it's kind of tough, man. You know, if they're good grappling, they're gonna take them down, man. It's tough, man. And plus you got great submissions, man. This is a tough fight for McAuliffe, man. And it always goes this way. It feels like when the grappler is a striker, the grappler always wins, right?
Yeah.
Grappling dictates the fight in MMA, so this is definitely handmade for Kevin Jousset to get on the win. And we have a crazy fight next, man. This is like high tensions for no reason. We have Alexandre Topuria. Guys, if you guys don't know, that is Ilia Topuria's brother. He's fighting against Kobe Thickness. I don't know how to say that fight. I'm gonna call him Kobe Thickness. He is in Volkanovski's camp, and as you guys know, Ilya and Volk got some history, obviously. So this is interesting. Gio, I mean, you know about this fight, so I'm gonna let you take it away, man. We got some notes down here, so.
It's beautiful because this transpired from two other people fighting, and this is what happens when you collide gyms. You have Ilia Topuria defeating Alexander Volkanovski, the great and what are the future legend, what I would call. And then next we have a couple months later with another person that's representing Alexander Volkanovski's team in that gym, and Ilia Topuria's brother representing himself, his brother in Spain. It's just, this story writing is just amazing. I just like what they're bringing, and everyone's saying that we got prospects on the way, and I believe it too.
So let's go over, man. This is in the bantamweight division. We all know that the bantamweight division is fucking stacked.
Yeah, completely stacked.
Right?
Yeah,
so
amazing.
So let's just go over it, man. We have Alexandre Topuria, man. So listen, he is no striker like his brother, right? He's actually really good on the ground, submission game, got some improving in the striking, man. So, and with that being said, striking is not a strong suit, man. It's the grappling and the submission game, man. So everyone's gonna think like, oh, Ilia Topuria, amazing striker, but you guys gotta remember, Ilia Topuria, his starting, it was just fucking grappling people, man. So, man, listen. So, some weaknesses to go over, man. Striking, man. It's going to develop. We know this already, right? It could already be developed. I'm just going over what the notes I have right now. And, like I said, that striking is going to be a struggle, you know? So, keep it on the ground. Look for that submission. I'm sure he's going to get it. He's fucking Topuria's brother. You'll have him in the corner. It's going to be a crazy-ass fight. But I do think that the striking will be a problem in this fight as well. It could not be, But with that being said,
I seen some footage from Topuria's brother, and he got some amazing grappling on the works. I seen some film when the way he did a leg lock so instantly, it was just so beautiful to see.
Colby, right? His actual strong suit is striking. Counter punching, and like I said in the last breakdown, the weakness is going to be on the ground again, right? So he's gonna struggle against Topuria's grappling, man. It's gonna be a long night for him if he gets that fight on the ground.
I would never discredit anyone that comes from a great team over there in Australia. Their striking is so dynamic, from JDM to anyone, and if they set foot in that gym, just know they're destined for greatness.
Absolutely, man. So, listen, Colby needs to keep the fight standing. He needs to outstrike. He needs to outdo him like crazy. You have to test that gas tank. Got to maintain the jab. You got to do everything you can to keep this fight on its fucking feet, man. So, listen, this fight's a banger. I have no idea who's going to win this fight. I'm going to give it to Colby. I think he gets the upset. I think the striking might be too much, but I will not be surprised. This is Topuria's moment, man. This is his moment. This is my UFC debut. I'm going to show these guys who I'm really made of. He can just take him to the ground, get a quick submission, and prove me wrong.
This could just go anyway. This can just go technical with the strike on feet for completely 3 rounds, or it could just go to the ground and end it in first and second. It's just based on how he's going to land. I just feel like these strikes are going to be so sharp. They're going to be so fast, especially for that weight class. Everyone there is completely so fast,
man. That weight class is so fucking stacked, dude.
Completely. I love that division.
And I'm telling you guys right now, if Topuria wins that fight, they're gonna push his ass so hard.
Hey, he's gonna get pushed. I could see him. I can also see him myself just facing high ranked contenders
off the rip, man. Especially if he sees the striking be good. Oh man, it's over. They're about to push him like Sean O'Malley. I promise. Next fight is a welterweight bout between Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. I'm not sure. Francisco Prado versus Jake Matthews, man. Gio, you want to talk about this fight? Who is Jake Matthews? Like, what does Jake Matthews bring to the table as for this fight coming up?
Well, Jake Matthews, I've seen some highlights from him, and I've been watching him for a while. He's all around good with the striking. Every time he has an opportunity, he wants to be the showman. He's just going to go for the overhands. He's going to go for the hooks, and he's just going to make sure that everything that he lands is just going to hit. He definitely has the good fight IQ and durability. He definitely has took some hits before, and he's definitely just brushed them off and acted like nothing ever happened. It's just like, the problem with him sometimes, though, he just lacks the urgency. He's just like, sometimes he just takes too long to just figure out what to do, and then sometimes that just gets you in your head and wastes time, and then by the time you really realize, the fight is over.
Right, for sure. And honestly, his opponent here, his opponent's here, man, he is aggressive as fuck. He is an aggressive striker with heavy hands and high pressure, right? Now, having aggression in the UFC, and especially high-level MMA, what does that happen? When you're aggressive, you're what? You are defensively not sound anymore, right? So that can be a fucking problem, especially for a guy with fight IQ like Jake Matthews. He can use that to his advantage. He knows that he's going to be aggressive, right? You know? So he knows he's a smart fighter in the octagon. So it's all about fighting and picking your shots and not trying to make this a slugfest like how Francisco is going to do, right?
Sometimes the over-aggression can cost the match. They end up getting countered, they end up getting hit hard, and then they end up losing.
For sure. And, you know, he doesn't have that UFC experience like Jake Matthews does, right? So, you know, it's really time for him to overwhelm him with strikes and find that knockout, man. This is a stand-up war, man. This is going to be crazy. I think that Jake Matthews is going to win. The veteran experience is there.
I was potentially calling this probably a good fight of the night right here. Quality contender.
I'm going to pull on the screen. This is Gio's fight of the night, man.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I need a good flat my hand out here. Right here. Good right here. Put a picture of Jake Matthews right here. Yeah, that's the fighter of the night right here.
Next fight is a fight I've been looking forward for a very long time, man. So I love Tafa, but his opponent Talison Teixeira, man. Ooh, what a fighter, man. So
absolute unit. I've never seen anyone this big ever.
Dude, he is fucking huge. So listen, man, let's go over some strengths and weaknesses, man. Let's make it real simple, man. So
I feel like his issue is that he gets hit way too much for as much as he's trying to dish out. He receives as much as he dishes out, which is a lot.
Yeah, but don't. He only does that because he has devastating fucking knockout power, man. So fucking Justin Tafa, man. This guy has crazy knockout power. He has a heavy style, boxing style. This is fucking bread and butter.
Shout out to Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa and his brother for having that same style of his, just always going for the entertainment and always going for the knockout.
And but his opponent, man, fresh off Dana White Contender Series, got great striking, you got good grappling, you got good adaptability. So wherever the fight goes, he's game. I like that about Teixeira, man. 7-0. It's his time. UFC debut against a dangerous fucking guy. This is a match-made fight for Talison Teixeira to get this win, and I think he will. I think he will still be undefeated after Saturday.
Yeah, I feel the same way because this is a comment I was making a couple weeks back. This is the era of new generation of fighters, and I just feel like he's one of these people that's going to show the new wave of fighters that's on the way.
But for Justin to win this fight, man, he has to close the distance. You got to go for that quick knockout. Be Justin Tafa. You got to be Justin Tafa in this fight, man. Like, you have to go for that quick knockout, press the action, make him feel like he does not belong in there with you, right?
Show that there's levels to this.
Absolutely. And with Talison, man, it's time to survive those early rounds. You got to mix it up with the striking and the grappling. You got to test that Tafa cardio, man. Round one, Justin, is not a place you want to be at. So you got to maintain the grappling first. Maybe get the round, second, third round, maybe late second round. Dude, and go for that knockout, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
He definitely shows that if he doesn't get in the first, he definitely will be gassed in the second, the third. So if you can take that to your advantage, you can definitely see out your own type of finish from the ground to standing.
Absolutely. I think this is his fight. I think it's really his time right now. Talison is a prospect. Like I said, 7-0. Fresh off Dana White Contender Series. These guys are a real fucking threat.
Everyone that just seems to be coming from Dana White's Contender Series turned out to be absolutely monsters.
Now, this next fight, man, Gio, man, we've been talking about this fight for a very long time, man. Zhang Meli versus Tatiana Suarez, man. This is Suarez's time, man. I'm telling you, Suarez is undefeated, man. She has crazy good grappling. And honestly, let's go over some strengths and weaknesses for Zhang Wei versus Tatiana Suarez.
See, it's amazing that we even see any type of like disadvantages or anything with Zhang Wei because she's just been holding that belt for so long. I don't really see a weakness when she has so much dynamic wrestling, striking, clinching, and also been holding the belt for so long, to showing that there's always some sort of level that she's always willing to max out and cross over to.
It's the grappling, right? Grappling's always been an issue with Zhang Wei, right? This fight cannot really be on the ground. It's not really that smart to be on the ground. I think, honestly, the path to victory for Zhang Wei is to keep the fight standing. You have to avoid those dynamic movements and keep it on the feet because, on the other hand, dude, Tatiana Suarez, man, undefeated, man. Her wrestling is fucking elite, man. Top control, ground control, all her, man. She can give you elbows off the ground. She can make it look ugly on the ground. She's down for a dogfight. So is Zhang Weili. So I think Magnum, I think she has a chance to win this, man. Like I said, gotta keep it. If it really depends on the takedown defense, right? If Zhang Weili isn't able to keep this fight on the feet, dude, it's gonna be a long night for her, man. Because Tatiana's strong on the ground.
I haven't seen any type of takedown defenses in Zhang Weili's way on the training camp on the way to this journey. I haven't seen no takedown defenses or anything really dedicated to it. So I think her little confidence is like a little bit overboard. So we'll just see what Tatiana Suarez is bringing. I just say that her grappling is also just really amazing.
Honestly, that's the path of victory here for Tatiana Suarez, man. I think she has to get the ground early. She has to get the dominance, and she has to go for submissions. I think this fight's going to go to the distance. I think that it might be, if anything, if it's on the ground, it's a dominant masterclass. But if it stays on the feet, it's a dominant masterclass from Zhang Weili, man. So, honestly, this fight can go either way. I personally believe that Zhang Weili's going to make levels of this, man. I think Zhang Weili's going to get levels, man. I think Zhang Weili's going to show levels. She's going to show that this isn't going to be just a ground game. This will be a dynamic fight for Tatiana Suarez. She might be in for a long night.
I feel like this is going to be a banger match. This was another match I felt like this was going to be another qualifier or a contender for fight of the night. I have Zhang Weili winning this. I feel like she's deserving of the GOAT cut conversation, to be honest.
You know what, though, G? You got to put it in perspective, too, man. This is Tatiana Suarez's moment, and this is the moment to really show, hey, I belong in the cream of the crop. I deserve to be the strawweight champion of the world. This is her time to really shine, honestly. So I'm not going to count her out, per se, but I just don't really see Magnum losing this fight, honestly.
Unless Tatiana Suarez pulls out the Rose Namajunas with the knockout
Wow.
by lucky catch.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be exciting, but she knows her game plan. And I also like that her mindset heading into this fight. She's very confident. She's very aware of what she does. She's very aware of Zhang and with her skill set. And she says she has a game plan, and I'm out here all for it.
A main event you've been waiting on for a very long time. A main event that I've been excited for. We have Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. This is a fight of the night written all over it. Gio, you take it away, man.
We have Sean Strickland, Tarzan, which he doesn't really like to be addressed as much anymore, but this is the man, man. This guy has outstanding striking. With just his straights and jabs, he can make opportunities out of anything. But we also forget that he's a wrestler. He wrestles. He started wrestling. He has submissions and knockouts. This man's resume is totally amazing, and he definitely has all the qualities of getting this belt back.
Deep kick merchant, jab merchant, who gives a fuck? Sean Strickland is entertaining. He's a motherfucking dog. He don't give a fuck. Hey, man, I don't like Sean Strickland's personality, but fuck, man, he's an entertaining motherfucker, and here's why, man. So, very forward aggression, so does du Plessis, but Sean Strickland's aggression, teep kick, jab, that's going to be a problem, man. It's tough for a lot of opponents, man.
I think just the way the counter, his style is just pushing forward with him. He likes to have those scrapples and battles. It's just seeing who hits harder at the end. We've seen the prime example when he faced Alex Pieta. He always challenged him. He walked forward to him every time. And the time that he backed up, tried to change pace, he got hit and knocked out.
Absolutely. Now, that's the problem, right? With Sean Strickland, he lacks the knockout power. Forward pressure can kind of leave him to, like you said, with the Pieta fight, like, that forward pressure can leave him to get knocked out, right? So you got to just kind of like pace yourself in this fight. Excuse me. You got to pace yourself in this fight. Dricus' blitz is going to be a problem if he does that a lot too.
Yes.
So honestly, path of victory here is to keep the dab, use lateral movement to counter Plessis' aggression, and then secure a decision, man. Fuck it, man. Don't go for the knockout. No reason to. Right? He almost beat him the first time. Was it a split decision?
Yeah, split decision.
It was a split decision win for du Plessis. Now,
we've seen the damage more on Dricus than Sean.
Absolutely. So, hey, You gotta have the masterclass. You gotta pick them apart. You can't let the blitz work you. Don't be too predictable and get this fucking decision, man. Fucking stop playing around.
And if anything, use the wrestling. Drake ain't going to promise you another strike battle like he did the first time. He's going to probably take you down.
Absolutely.
And we seen with prime example, he submitted Israel Adesanya. That shows that he's willing to go take you down if the striking feels too much for him.
Absolutely. Now, that's what I wanted to say with Dracus, right? Mm-hmm. He's unorthodox, right? He has strong grappling and great cardio. Both of them have amazing cardio. Mm-hmm. So 5 rounds, it can end in any fight if you're being real.
Drake does have a size comparison difference with Sean. He is huge,
but he
knows how to use it when it comes to wrestling and striking.
Absolutely. Honestly, this is a hard fight to honestly predict, man. So there is some, like I said, from Sean's weaknesses, there are a lot of weaknesses with Dracus, right? So listen, like I said, with the aggression he brings, those blitzes I was talking about can leave him open to the counter striking, right? So we see it time and time again, right?
Yeah.
He blitzes forward, he might get caught, but he eats it though. He's a great chin.
We've seen with a prime example of Robert Whitaker. He did a lot of blitzing there, and then one of the blitzes actually is land flushing and got the knockdown.
Absolutely. And that's a problem too, right? Overcommitting to strikes.
Yeah.
You can't overcommit to a strike, he might get caught. But this is Sean Strickland we're talking about. A guy with not that much knockout power, right?
Yeah.
So he can probably afford pressing the action without having to worry about being hit. So honestly, this is perfect for him, right? The path of victory is very similar. Keep the fight standing, have a high volume, make sure Sean doesn't get comfortable with the rhythm, right?
Yes.
You got to disrupt the rhythm a bit with the grappling, right? I think Duplessis will have the advantage in the wrestling, right?
Yes, by a long shot, yes.
By a long shot, right? So I think that this fight's going to be more I don't want to say, but I do believe that Duplessis, his goal is going to try to get him on the ground and try to overwork him and just make him tired.
Yes.
Honestly, that's probably the best way he can do to Sean, because if you let his cardio keep working you and those jabs and teeps are still there by round 4, round 5, man, it's a long night.
Yes,
so,
the first round with Sean is always filling out the fighter. As soon as he starts catching pace and figuring out his rhythm, that's when he really starts flowing. If Dracus really wants to get into his head and figure it out, oblige with the strike game with him, and then just eventually switch it up and do the takedown.
Absolutely.
And then have him struggle down there and then get back up. Get into his head.
Yeah. You got to get into Sean's head. You got to make it different. You can't do the same shit you were doing last fight. It was way too close. Razor thin fight. Honestly, for this fight, I think I'm going to do Sean Strickland. I think Sean's going to get this fight done. Not by finish.
No.
I think Sean's definitely going to be a high pace for this fight. It's a good fight for him.
I feel that this is just my opinion anyway.
Oh my God.
That belt's coming back to the US of A. We got Sean Strickland winning this by decision.
Wow, by decision. I think you said KO before, but let me just switch to decision.
I feel like just the training experience with them, I just feel like I can't underestimate a fighter like DDP. I just feel he has the knockout ability. He knows what his skills are wrapped around, and I know he is not going to oblige with the striking all feet all night. He's going to get takedown and preserve time.
Absolutely, man. I think Sean gets it done as well, man. I think Sean is really good on the feet, man. I think honestly the pace is different. He looks different this fight camp. He looks a lot more prepared in this fight camp as well. He seems like he's been a little more serious for this fight.
Shout out to the fighting nerds and Alex Pieta for the training camp.
Hey, Kyle Bahayo, the GOAT, man. I'm telling you, those fighting nerd guys are crazy. They're up next. Kyle Bahayo coming for that middleweight champ.
He
will get it. He will get it. Kyle Bahayo, Hamzat Chimaev, 2026 for the belt. Let's go.
If you want money, you'll be hearing this guy right now.
Telling you, Kyle Bahayo, Hamzat Chimaev, 2026 title fight. It's happening. Honestly, I can see it happening this year, man. Oh my God, December, Hamzat versus Kyle Bahayo. Oh my God. Listen, think about it. Sean Strickland loses to Hamzat Chimaev. Hamzat Chimaev fights the number one contender, right?
Yeah.
By the time that's something, Kyle Bahayo may have defeated Imavov by that time. Imavov loses. Kyle comes up. Kyle Bahayo versus Hamzat December. I'm telling you, you can do that, or you can headline on the November card. Hey,
these are ideas. These are ideas. Just hear us out. We got some ideas.
I do want to do something with Gio, man. It's called 5 rounds. I'm gonna give you 5 fights. upcoming for this year.
Sure.
I want you to give me the method of victory and who's going to win.
Oh, sure.
All right.
Lay it on me.
Here we go. I got Leon Edwards versus JDM.
Leon Edwards, JDM, outstanding strikers. They both show pivotal this performance every time they went out. I'm pretty upset off of Leon's last performance with the Bilal Muhammad, but that still went to a long night for him. You know who I got for this? I got JDM.
JDM. How's he winning?
Let's go with the decision.
Absolutely. You got RoboCop versus Jared Cannonier. Obama himself versus Cannonier.
I think this is getting towards the time that it's time for Cannonier just to hang it up. I got Obama winning this one by knockout.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. We have King Green, not Bobby Green. We have King Green versus Mauricio Rufy from the Fighting Nerds.
Yeah, I love King Green. I love what he represents. I love his style. I love that he's willing to go out on the shield. But I got Mauricio Rufy. His fighting dynamic is just so perfect, and I got it by knockout.
Absolutely. That karate style is hard to figure out.
It's so beautiful.
It reminds me of vintage McGregor, man, a lot.
I just love the stance. I love the striking. It's just the way his last match was just showcase and just showing what he can do on the feet.
Absolutely. I have Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Alberg.
That's beautiful. This is just music to my ears when you hear about the light heavyweight division. I have Jan Blachowicz winning that.
Wow. Why? What's going on? Why? That's crazy because I love Carlos Alberg.
He's one of the few guys that took Alex Pieta the decision.
Absolutely.
Such an outstanding striker and showed that he looked human.
All right, so for our last one here, I have Kai Kara France versus Alexandre Pantoja.
I love what Kai Kara France did with his strength training at City Kickboxing, but I've just been a fan of Alexander Pantoja before the belt, and I just feel like he has a type of discussion and type of aura behind him that he's just going to have that belt for a while. He's willing to go into slug fights. He's willing to be bloodied up and get beaten up just to prove his point, to show that he's willing to have that belt for a long time.
But I do think KKF did improve a lot more in his last fight. Because, listen, Steve Ursay made it kind of hard for Pantoja to get around it, man. So, and KKF knocked him out. What, first round?
Yeah. Dude, it was a showcase for Kai Kara France, especially being away for that long and with that training that he's been preserving. I wasn't expecting a knockout like that. And that type of the passion.
I'll be the first to say, man, I think I doubted Kai Kara France like crazy. I was really on the Steve Ursay hype train, man, but that got real quick.
Yeah, that got hype derailed, and I hope the best for that fighter coming back. I heard that he's got some announcements, and I'm here for him still as a fan.
And next week, Gio, we have who? Jared Cannonier versus Obama himself, man. We're gonna go over that card as well.
We also have a special person in that fighting card, Calvin Kattar.
Oh my God!
Stuff gets interesting here.
Well, interesting. Calvin Kattar. It might be time to hang it up, my boy. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. Gio, thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. I appreciate having this casual talk with you in this casual day.
On this casual talk show. Hey, man, it's been real, guys. Slack in the suit, man. We'll look forward to seeing you at the fights, man.
Yeah, make sure you put some bets down. If y'all really want to know, I have my predictions here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you want some free money? Go ahead.
These are my picks.
And I'll put the DraftKings the odds there as well. Right here. All right, guys?
Right here.
You want some free money? Go and make some money, man. Go ahead and make some money.
These are just my options. These are just my opinions. You do with what you want.
Absolutely. Let's make some money, man. We make some fucking money. All right, guys. It's been real. I'll see you next week.